I have genuinely seen Désiré Doué comparisons to Neymar, and to be honest, I didn't actually fully believe the hype until very recently. How often do we see it that a young kid comes through, makes his debut, plays really well, we overhype him and then gets too much pressure put on him, and he struggles then and he doesn't live up to the hype, or maybe he does believe the hype and then he doesn't live up to his full potential. But let me tell you something, this kid is ridiculous. And of course I had to talk about him because quite frankly, how can you not? So let's just get into it. Let me just start by saying, in a world full of robotic wingers that are in a system to retain as much possession as possible, Désiré Doué is an absolute breath of fresh air, along with the other wingers at PSG, but we're just going to focus on the young Frenchman today. Désiré Doué is a 19-year-old winger that came from Rennes for a hefty €50 million last summer. But his story begins way back in 2010. Doué began his football journey at the age of 5 with the youth academy of Rennes. He progressed through the ranks, making his professional debut for Rennes in August 2022. His impact was immediate. On his debut, he scored a goal, becoming the first player born in 2005 to score in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. He also set a record for the youngest French scorer in a European club competition with a goal against Dynamo Kiev in October 2022. Fast forward to August 2024 and he would get a big move to PSG worth €50 million, where he would continue to impress even more and more. He scored a brilliant penalty to knock Liverpool out of the Champions League and scored a beauty against Villa in the first leg, but we'll come back to his Champions League run shortly. He has very clearly shown that he has some of the best potential in the world, and to be honest, some of the best potential we've seen in such a long time. But do you know why everybody, and I mean everybody, seems to be falling in love with him? It's because he's refreshing. In a world full of wingers that are made to keep as much possession as possible, like I said before, robotic wingers, they don't take on the man, they're not direct, they pass, get the ball passed out to them out wide, comes back inside. And it's the same thing. And then they might whip a ball in after 5-10 passes. He's just really, really refreshing. And it's so nice to see a young player with flair and having the confidence to play with that flair. And Luis Enrique is allowing him to do that when he's getting his minutes at PSG. I mean, it's his first season in the Champions League and he genuinely looks like he's playing against his friends in the park. And what genuinely blows my mind is last summer, we had Lamine Yamal. He put his name on the world stage properly, announced himself to the world, and it looked like, oh my God, we have the next big thing and we're not going to see anything like him for a while. And then a couple months later, maybe a year later, this kid really, really announces himself on the European stage, on the French stage, and now, to be honest, the world stage. By the way, if you're new around here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks. So now we know his story. How does he play? Renowned for his agility, acceleration and versatility, Doué excels in multiple attacking roles. His ball carrying and dribbling abilities are exceptional, ranking among the top in Europe's top 5 leagues. But like I've already mentioned, he's just so refreshing to watch. He's a blast from the past kind of player, fearless, direct and technically impressive. And that's where we've seen the Neymar comparisons coming from. He has that flair that the modern game seems to be missing. That way you're watching a game and there's a certain play and you look to the person at the side of you and you think, nah, that's ridiculous. And despite his attacking focus, he also contributes defensively, which complements his work rate. And it feels less and less like we're seeing players come through with this kind of flair and this kind of talent. And that's why I think he's so appreciated. Because although over the more recent years, football may feel like it's losing its flair a little bit, and then you see kids like this, him, Yamal, coming through, and they're just ridiculous. You're like, holy shit. And maybe we're getting a swing in the opposite direction where we're getting direct wingers back. Wingers that aren't afraid to take on the man. And I'm all here for it. Because you've got Doué, Yamal, Bradley Barcola, even the front line as a whole that Luis Enrique has built, Kvaratskhelia and Ousmane Dembele. They're fun and exciting to watch. They're direct. And I don't know if it's just coincidence that PSG happens to have some of the best wingers on the planet, or Luis Enrique is just that good at seeing these players and how good these players are. But the only trajectory I can see for Désiré Doué is upward. He has so much potential and his ceiling is incredibly high. I could see him going to the World Cup next summer and having a huge impact on that squad. Now, maybe he won't start in that team because look at the attacking talent that that team already has. But coming off the bench in multiple different situations, he will be very, very effective. If you're winning, trying to run down the clock, bring him on, cause a bit of aggro, his little fancy skills, I'm sure that'll wind someone up. But then again, if you're trying to find attacking creativity, trying to get yourself back into the game, he's your man. He is literally great for any situation. Now, there's absolutely no way that I can make a video on this kid and not talk about his Champions League performances this season. For one, that goal he scored against Villa in the first leg, oh my days. And his performance in general, that little flick, the little Cruyff turn, I think it was. God, he is so fun to watch. And then to score the winning penalty against Liverpool at Anfield to send PSG through to the quarterfinals and then hit that little... unreal. Now, as far as the Neymar comparisons do go, Désiré Doué has a long, long way to go. But he has so much potential to be the next Désiré Doué, not the next Neymar. But what's so cool is I saw this Instagram post from when he was still at Rennes and they played PSG, and he'd come up against his idol Neymar, and the caption reads, "My dream has come true. Playing opposite my idol. Thank you for this happiness you give me." At Neymar Jr. And this is such a cool storyline to me because he plays against his idol for a club that he's played for since he was a kid, and then a couple of years later he gets the big move to PSG, the club that Neymar was playing for at the time, and now he's getting compared to him. What an incredible feeling he must have, and he's clearly expressed how he feels about Neymar, that he's his idol. He does his celebrations, he does his dances, and he plays like him. Like I said before, I see nothing but an upward trajectory for Désiré Doué. He is just one of them players that's exciting to watch, gets you off your seat, and he is so refreshing. His story is special, and his rise to being one of the hottest prospects on the planet is nothing short of impressive. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Désiré Doué, and if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.